Having worked so closely together throughout the Clone Wars, operating on worlds such as Quell and Maridun, Aayla, Secura and Clone Commander Bly formed a close relationship. Their trust and dependency on one another was not to be laughed at. Moreover, the Twi'lek Jedi Master always believed that Bly would have her back. Little did she know that when given half the chance, he'd gun her down in cold blood. Welcome to the Crusade Star Wars Lore Episode 173, Commander Bly. CC-5052, the clone commander who became known as Bly, began his Republic military service in 22 BBY, yet his first notable participation of the Clone Wars was anything but voluntary. The appropriately titled Battle of Quell began when Bly and Jedi Master Aayla Secura fell under attack. Their Star Destroyer was ripped to shreds by the aggressive Separatist fleet, and both individuals would have most likely perished if it were not for Captain Rex, Ahsoka Tano and Anakin Skywalker. Unfortunately, during the rescue attempt, the legendary Jedi Knight was seriously injured. They rushed Skywalker to the Resolute for immediate medical attention. Whilst trying to board the craft, however, their frigate's hyperdrive was accidentally activated, sending it hurtling through space. To make matters worse, they were set on a deadly collision course with a massive star. Bly and company barely managed to avoid a gruesome death, but that didn't stop their craft from crash landing on the world of Maridun below. At first, the grassy plains of Maridun appeared to be void of life, though Bly soon found a signpost that suggested otherwise. Their voyage to the nearby Lorman village wasn't without its problems, as 3 troopers perished at the hands of vicious Mastiff Fallones, and even when they reached their destination, Bly and company were refused help by the village elder, Twi'lek Ka. Thankfully, his son Wag-2 was far more forthcoming, and did all he could to nurse Skywalker back to health. Yet their troubles were far from over. Firstly, the Jedi and their clone underlings encountered a Separatist landing craft and its plethora of battle droids, and secondly, they uncovered the presence of a Separatist outpost, one that came fully equipped with a deadly defoliator deployment tank. Bly understood the full power of such a weapon firsthand. In fact, he was almost consumed by one of its fireballs and was only saved at the last second by Secura. The Republic forces, in retaliation, returned to the Lorman settlement to establish a protective shield and defensive walls. This countermeasure proved to be invaluable in the climactic battle. Moreover, by working alongside the native populace, Bly and his comrades easily thwarted the Separatist forces. Their triumphant victory coincided with the arrival of Admiral Wolf Yularen and his fleet, who offered them safe passage off Maridun. After years of many more risky, action-packed and triumphant missions, Bly, Secura and the rest of the 327th Star Corps were assigned to the jungle planet of Felucia. They were tasked with hunting down Separatist Council member Shu Mei. Before completing the assignment, however, Bly and his men received a startling message, Order 66. From the lips of Supreme Chancellor Palpatine himself, the clones were ordered to turn their blasters upon the Jedi Master they had so faithfully served, and so, without hesitation, they each readied their weapons and fired. No longer was Commander Bly a loyal servant of the Republic. Instead, he transitioned into a stormtrooper of the evil Galactic Empire. Now it's time for this week's question. Out of all the Order 66 death scenes, which Jedi do you believe had the worst death? Let us know in the comments below. Remember to vote for next week's episode by participating in the card poll on screen now. Also, to have your say in future lore videos, head on over to lecarangazans.com and get voting. If you learned something new from today's video, be sure to leave a like, and if you haven't already, press that subscribe button and notification bell to keep it locked here to Lecarangazans.